Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to my November wrap up. Hi guys, it is currently the 10th, the 10th of November and I have read nothing. I have completed 0 books this month. October, as I keep saying, was the magic hopathon and it took it out of me. I haven't read anything in 10 days because I of course hit a slump, and for the first few days of November I was like, yeah, this is great, I'm just taking a little break from reading, I still want to read. And then the days passed and the days passed and I hadn't read anything, and the next day came and I hadn't read anything, and I'm kind of in a slump. However, this morning I woke up and I was like, I just want to just be in the Christmas mood. I've already started listening to Christmas music. I haven't watched any Christmas films yet, but I think that might be a task on my to-do list soon. And I was like, you know what? I just want to read some festive romance Christmassy books. So I had a look on iBooks and stuff, and there was a book that was going for cheap, like 99p, and it sounded interesting. It's called Baby, It's Cold Outside by Emily Bell, and I'm 40 pages in, which is the most I've read in a fair while. So hopefully reading festive Christmas books will pull me out of my slump. However, on this dreary November day, I have some book mail because in September I started including book mail in these wrap-ups so you can see what I read and also what I purchased / pre-ordered, just to get like a full round of bookish things regarding the month that I'm wrapping up. Obviously this month is November, and this is a very, very special pre-order because it's one of my most anticipated releases of 2021. It is Giovanna Fletcher's brand new book, Walking on Sunshine, and let's open it together. I got the signed hardback. I'm so excited. I have already read this book. I read it in October because I got an e-arc off NetGalley. I'm very, very grateful, but I also needed my own copy. I gave this a 4.5 stars when I read it, and I think it could be pushed up to a 5 stars when I reread the physical copy, which is why I obviously pre-ordered it, so I can read the physical copy. So close, so close. So yeah, if I could read the physical copy, I will reread it in November. It's also my book club pick, so I'd like to reread it just to give me a fresh, freshness of the book and the story. But I absolutely adored this book, and the book is stunning. Oh my god, it's a bit, is that? Oh no, I thought it's dented, but it's the snow print on the, although it is a little dented. It's a little dented, but we move. It's a little dented right at the top, if you can see that. But here it is, I'm so excited. Oh, it is so pretty. Yeah, I really, really do enjoy this book. If you want to take part in the book club, then the live show will probably be up on this channel, or there'll be a reminder to set it. I don't know when this is going up in conjunction to when the live show will be, but this is the book club pick for Books and Me, my book club this month. I absolutely adore this book. It basically follows 3 best friends who have recently lost someone really close to them, and the person who has passed away from breast cancer, and she leaves like trails and clues behind. So the 3 friends that are left can take those and kind of be proactive in moving on and not being like submerged in grief, and it leads them on a trek to Peru. And this book is beautiful. It's told in 3 perspectives, and it's not only about like grief, it's about postpartum depression, it's about kind of, is this all there is left in life when you kind of get to a crossroads in your 30s? I love this book, and I can't wait to reread it and tab it up and just get the full experience reading a physical copy, because yes, it's so exciting to get e-arcs and read books you're so looking forward to before release date, but there's just something special about getting a book that you've been really looking forward to in your hands physically, and yeah, I'm so excited. So yeah, that was a little book unboxing, and to tell you that I hopefully might be out of my slump on the 10th of November. Fingers crossed. I will let you know how the Christmas festive reads get on, but so far I'm really enjoying the book that I am reading, so hopefully I'll come with an update soon saying I have completed it, but we'll see. My slump is very iffy at the minute. We're only just on the edge of getting out of it, so I could fall immediately back into it. Also, PS, do you not like my new JLS hoodie? I love it. Okay, I'll see you later. Wait, I forgot to see the most exciting thing, which is the fact that it's signed. There it is. Okay, I'm going now. Hi guys, it is now the 16th of November and I finally finished my first book of the month. I did finish last night. I finished Baby, It's Cold Outside, and I haven't already, I don't think I've said this already, but in November I wanted to trial out not rating books anymore and just kind of enjoying them for what they are, not enjoying them, and only rating books if they were a 5-star. Baby It's Cold Outside by Emily Bell wasn't a 5-star, so therefore it's not being rated. I did enjoy this book. Definitely think the first half was stronger than the second half. By the time the second half kind of rolled around, I was just kind of a bit done with the story. I kind of didn't really care for it anymore, and I don't know whether that's because I read it across like 5 days, which is quite a long period for me, or whatnot. But it was a cute festive read. It got me into like the festive spirit by not reading like a full-on festive book, but still kind of having that like sprinkle of magic and December kind of feels and stuff. So it was fun, it was enjoyable, but nothing special. Glad I don't have a physical copy of it because I don't need to unhaul it now. It's just on my phone and it'll stay on my phone forever. But that was fine. It was only 99p, so nothing lost there. I'm glad I read it because it got me into the Christmas spirit, and I'm so into the Christmas spirit this year. I think it's because last year Christmas just wasn't that great in the UK because we were in lockdown and we couldn't kind of see our extended family. So this year I'm just fully embracing the Christmas spirit. And on that note, my boyfriend kindly brought me a book because he found it and then he messaged me being like, it's going to be really cute. I really think you'll enjoy it. And I was like, oh yeah, it does sound cute. And I looked at it on Amazon and it said it'd be dispatched between 1 to 2 months, and there's no point reading a Christmas book after Christmas. So I was like, oh yeah, that's cute. Maybe I'll like look into it, but I just couldn't be bothered with like the wait time of delivery. However, he came over to my house on the weekend and he brought me the physical copy of it. So this is Ben Miller's Diary of a Christmas Elf. It's like so small and tiny. I'll get a normal paperback so you can kind of see the difference in like height. It's a bit like, so it's a bit smaller than like average paperback height. And it's like wider. And apparently my boyfriend said because he actually watched the author on like the BBC or Good Morning Britain or something. The author came on TV and to talk about it because this book has actually just been released. And they said they printed it in this size, so it felt like more like a diary because it's the diary of the Christmas elf. And it just seems like a really fun read. There's like no text per page. I feel like I could get through this in one evening. So I'm gonna attempt to read this next because you know what? I just want to read Christmas books. So that is what I'm going to do. So I've received 2 books so far this month and I've read 1. But that's fine. You know what? I'm really enjoying doing other things and reading and taking a chill with reading, like I've said before. So I just wanted to come in with that update. Say I finished my first book in November, obviously not rating it, but it was Baby It's Cold Outside by Emily Bell. And my boyfriend gifted me another Christmas book, which I'm going to start next. I'm so excited. So yeah, that's the update. Hi guys, it's now the 23rd of November. We literally have like 7 days left of the month. If my voice is going, I went to go see JLS for the second time on Saturday, and for some reason my voice has just kind of been croaky ever since, but I'm doing COVID tests every day just to make sure, but all good so far. But it is the 23rd. Yeah, the 23rd of November, and the last update was saying that I was going to start the Diary of the Christmas Elf, and I didn't do that. I didn't do that. And then I tried to read Walking on Sunshine. I got 10 pages in. I quit that book. I DNF'd it for now because I didn't want to ruin a potential 5-star for my reading slump. And then I did a try chapter tag, which you would have seen in the middle of this month. Like, I literally just put it up tonight. I read a few books and I thought I was going to get out of my slump by reading 10 Blind Dates, and I've read 30 pages of that and I can't bother to read it. However, I've been like organising the rest of my year content and just kind of like refiguring out Notion and trying to like get back on top of things, because I feel like with my reading slump, I've also kind of lacked in YouTube content, and I've also just kind of lacked in life. I'm feeling very uninspired and unmotivated and uncreative and a bit drained in a minute. So I'm just trying to get my life back on track. And whilst I was doing all my Notion and stuff, I was figuring out one of my book videos for December, and that includes 2022 book releases. And one of my favourite authors, Lucy Diamond, has a book coming out in January 2022, which I'm very excited for. But that got me thinking, and it like reminded me that there was a book in connection with one of my favourite books of this year by Lucy Diamond, which was The Beach Cafe. I almost gave it a 5 stars, and it just kind of fell a bit short, and I gave it a 4.5 stars. And there is a Christmas at the Beach Cafe novella, as in like a 1.5 book in that series. And I looked on iBooks and it's 99p, and there's an audiobook of it on Scribd. So fingers crossed, guys, but I'm going to attempt to read that. It shouldn't take me too long. It's a 3-hour audiobook. It's probably only like 100 pages, and hopefully I can read a book that's familiar to me because I know the characters, I know I love the writing, but it's set at Christmas, which, like you guys know, sound like a broken record, that I'm obsessed with, and I'm so excited for Christmas this year, so I just want to obviously immerse myself in Christmas books. But I'm going to leave this update here. I will hopefully update you once I finish Christmas at the Beach Cafe by Lucy Diamond, but we shall see. But it is the finale of the Bake Off tonight, literally in 1 minute, so I'm going to wrap up this clip now. And also after that, we have the third day of I'm a Celeb to Get Me Out of Here. So I have a good night of evening TV with my mum, so I probably won't start reading tonight, but just wanted to let you guys know that that is like technically now my reading plan, but my reading slump is so bizarre at the minute. I just want to read everything, but nothing is keeping my attention. So we shall see what happens, but I wanted to update anyway. But yeah, Bake Off finale. Let me know if you enjoyed who the winner was down below. I feel like it might be Crystal or Chigs. Fingers crossed. Morning, guys. It is Thursday, the 25th of November. We are officially a month away from Christmas. So excited, and I'm wearing my Christmas jumper because I'm filming my December TBR today. I'm excited to film it because it's going to be like the last books I want to read before the end of the year. They are heavily Christmas books. Surprise, surprise by now. But I just wanted to pop on here and say that I did finish the book that I was going to read, Christmas at the Beach Cafe by Lucy Diamond, which is like a novella companion kind of 100-page book for the Beach Cafe by Lucy Diamond. Really enjoyed it, really enjoyed being back with the same characters and just kind of to see kind of what they got up to at Christmas time at the Beach Cafe. It was really wholesome, it was really sweet. I'm actually very proud of myself that I paid attention to the entire audiobook, because I did say that I brought the book for 99p on iBooks, but I didn't actually end up reading it. I just ended up listening to the entirety of it. And because it was only like 105 pages, it was like a 3-hour audiobook. So I just listened to it for the past couple of days while I was getting ready and falling asleep and stuff. And it was just a nice kind of little comfort book to read while I was still kind of in my slump, being back with familiar characters. It was a very kind of like classic, cheesy, Christmas rom-com-y sort of book. Like, it was predictable, but you know what? It's kind of just what I needed right now. Something to listen to, because I clearly don't have the attention span to read a physical book. And on Scribd, the second novella to the Beach Cafe, Christmas Gifts at the Beach Cafe, is available on Scribd. So I think I might just like continue on the Beach Cafe journey and read that book next to see if that will continue to pull me out of my slump. And also it's another audiobook, which I think is kind of my preferred way of reading right now, because I just don't have the attention span to sit in bed or sit down and like read physical pages. So that's the next kind of port of call for book wise. But yeah, I'm hoping over the next kind of weeks, we've only got a week left of December, I can kind of get out of my slump. Fingers crossed, because I have a hefty TBR for December, because obviously it's the last month of the year and I just want to get a lot of books read to kind of wrap up my year and kind of read all the books I wanted to read over the year. So fingers crossed me, guys, but I'll keep you posted. But that's 3 books down this year. That's 3 books down this month, because I read, oh, was it 2? I think it's 2, because I've started so many books, but I just haven't finished them. So I think, yeah, 2 books down. That's fine. We're fine. We're fine. Hi guys, it's the same day and I've just finished my lunch break from work, so I thought I'd pop in an update. I had to get the washing in and I had to put it away and put some on the radiators and stuff. I got myself a cup of tea, and during that time I finished a book I started this morning. What is this? I know it's an audiobook, but let me have this win because it feels like a win. I haven't finished a book in weeks, and just the fact that I finished one in a day, even though it was only like 100 pages, and I listened to it while I was doing work and then on my lunch break while I was getting the washing in and stuff, I feel so accomplished. And that book that I just finished was Christmas Gifts at the Beach Cafe by Lucy Diamond, which is the second novella in the like Beach Cafe series, although there's only one standalone book and then there's a couple of Christmas novellas alongside. Actually, that's a lie. There's a third novella called Baby at the Christmas Cafe. So a little bit of a spoiler to what happened in the book I just read. But this one was so much more wholesome than just Christmas at the Beach Cafe that I finished yesterday. This one was so much fun and I really, really enjoyed listening to this one. It had more substance in this book. There was a lot more going on. There were like tense moments and like adventures and stuff regarding like a lost dog and try and find that lost dog. And Evie's sister, who's the main character, sister came to stay for Christmas, and then she's with her boyfriend Ed, and they had a lot of stuff going on. And it just felt like there was a lot more substance, a lot more stuff to get your teeth into and then really enjoy, whereas the other one literally just felt like filler. So it's strange the fact that this one came after the last one. So there's the beach. I'm trying to just like talk about it, but it's hard. So the order is The Beach Cafe by Lucy Diamond, and then there's a novella called Christmas at the Beach Cafe, and then there's a second novella that comes after Christmas at the Beach Cafe called Christmas Gifts at the Beach Cafe. Then there's the one after that called Baby at the Beach Cafe. So there's 3 novellas and I'm reading them in order. So it's strange for the second novella to be a lot more in-depth and full and have more substance than the first one, because you would expect the first one to be all the author's ideas that they wish they could have got into the first book into a novella. That it was fine, it was a cute read, whereas this one I really enjoyed, and it just felt like I was truly getting extra story content regarding the original book, The Beach Cafe. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad I read it, because I thought it was going to be less enjoyable than the first one, because I was just expecting the first novella to be better than the second one. So I'm very excited now to read Baby at the Beach Cafe, but I don't think I'm going to read it yet, unless there's the audiobook on Scribd, and then I might start. But I just wanted to come update and say that that's my 3rd book finished for the month. I'm so excited. So hopefully this means I'm slowly getting out of my reading slump. Fingers crossed, but I'll keep posted and I'll update you when I finished, hopefully, another book for the month of November. Fingers crossed. Hi guys, it's now the 29th of November and I finished another book. I've actually, if you see my December TBR, I finished The Diary of the Christmas Elf by Ben Miller, because yesterday was such a Christmassy day. It was Sunday, so my boyfriend was around and we decorated my entire living room and kind of downstairs area. My family kind of go all out with Christmas decorations and I absolutely love it. And whilst we were listening to Christmas music and decorating the Christmas tree, we also read a book together. Yeah, I know, together. He laid down and I was like, I'm not lying down. I'm quite an agitated person if I lie down for no apparent reason. I just kind of, unless I'm going for a nap, I don't like specifically just lying down and doing nothing. Whereas my boyfriend, on the other hand, can do that quite willingly. So I was like, I'm gonna read you a story. And I picked this one and I read 1 chapter to him aloud, and we ended up binging the entire book together with me reading it aloud and him kind of listening to the story. And we both really enjoyed it. Mark would have rated it higher than me because I said I wasn't rating books at the minute. And he was like, oh no, why not? And I was just like, just because I want to kind of enjoy reading and not kind of analyse it and kind of think, oh, what rating could this be? And he was like, well, what if you did rate it? And I was like, if I rated it, I'd probably give it like a 3.5, whereas Mark said he would give it a 4. So we both really enjoyed it. It's a really cute, super fun, festive read, and it's about basically our main character Tog, who wants to be a Christmas elf, and he's applied to be a Christmas elf, but he hasn't heard anything back from Santa, and he's getting quite worried. And one day his little sister's cuddly toy, Lima, goes missing. He decides to, because he feels like it's his fault, he makes a new one for her. And then she tells all her friends at school, and then he ends up making loads of toys for loads of different people. And then one day, finally, Santa gets back to him. He goes into training to become a Christmas elf. Unfortunately, toy making wasn't for him, and he goes on different avenues within the Christmas palace and kind of figures out what kind of elf he wants to be. But along the way, loads of presents get stolen, so he's having to try and figure out who's the fake Santa, who's stealing all these presents. And it's a really cute, festive read, great for younger readers, but also just a little bit of fun for people like us who love Christmas and just want to feel Christmassy and in the festive spirit. So Mark and I really enjoyed our time reading it, and I'd highly recommend it if you haven't heard about this book but want something that's very similar to Tom Fletcher's whimsical and magical writing when it comes to Christmas books. So definitely enjoyed this one. And that was another book down, guys. I feel like I'm finally out of my slump, but I don't want to jinx it, so we're gonna whisper it, okay? Just in case all of a sudden my slump goes back into full force. So I think I'm out of my slump, but because I think I'm out of my slump because I'm 60 pages into The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary, another book that was on my December TBR, but if I got around to it sooner, then brilliant. And I started this book yesterday when Mark and my dad were watching football, because my dad supports Chelsea and my boyfriend supports Man U, and they were playing one another, so Chelsea versus Man U. And I was like, I'm not going to watch anything and support either one team, because before I met Mark, I supported Chelsea, and now because I'm with Mark, I feel like I need to support Man U. So when they're both playing, I just don't like to get involved. So I started reading a book because we'd already started reading this book, and I was like, I feel like reading a little bit. So I started The Road Trip and I got 50 pages in last night. of not of a kid's book, not of an audio book, of an actual physical book. And I'm so proud of myself. And I've already read another chapter today, and I'm only on my lunch break. So I'm just like, could this reading slump be over? Fingers crossed. However, this is a 400-page book, and the last day of the month is tomorrow. And if you know me and you've been following my channel for a while, I don't like carrying books over. So my plan today is to get to like page 250, which is another 200 pages, which is a lot for someone who's literally just come out of their reading slump. But I'm just gonna see how it goes. Fingers crossed. We'll see. We'll just have to see. But I'm really enjoying this book, so that is also a plus, because there's no point reading a book that you're not enjoying. So definitely enjoying this one. I'll give you more thoughts when I'm further in, because I'm not that far into it so far. But hopefully I can finish it by December, which is in 2 days, guys. Christmas is here. Christmas is coming. Also, while I have you, do you like my new Christmas bedding? Isn't it so cute? It's like Christmas trees, and it's got like, that doesn't have a 3D pom-pom on it, but there's actual like 3D pom-poms. There's another 3D pom-pom. There's another 3D pom-pom, and it's teddy bear fleece, and oh my god, it's so soft. So I'm just in the Christmas spirit, and I'm so excited. I will keep you posted, but hopefully I can finish the road trip by the end of December. No, by the end of November. Hi guys, I am here to wrap up this vlog because it is the 30th of November. It is December tomorrow, and I'm so excited. So the books I managed to read in November are, the first one I read was Baby It's Cold Outside by Emily Bell, a cute festive book about our two main characters who met in a summer back like 10 years ago, and they had like a summer fling, and they promised each other that in 10 years, if they were still single, they would meet in Dublin on Christmas Eve and kind of re-pick up where they'd left off. And the main character that you follow, the 10 years has come around, and she goes to Dublin to kind of hope that her like love interest Andrew will be there after the 10 years, and it's about her traveling up to Dublin on Christmas Eve, and it's very festive. It got me into the festive spirit, but it was a lot stronger in the first half than the second half, so I enjoyed it. It was fun. I'm glad I read it, but nothing special. The next book I read was an audiobook, and that was the novella to The Beach Cafe, which was Christmas at the Beach Cafe. You can definitely see a theme here this month with the books I read. And this was a quick 3-hour audiobook that I listened on 1.52 times speed, so it was so quick to get through. I listened to it while I was doing work and doing household chores and stuff, falling asleep, etc. And I enjoyed this one as well. It didn't have much substance. It was very filler. It didn't feel like the author needed to write this book. However, the third book I read this month was Christmas Gifts at the Beach Cafe, novella number 2 of the Beach Cafe series. And this one had so much more substance, and I really, really enjoyed it. I actually thought that I was getting great character development in this, and just a lot more to get my teeth into. And I also listened to this on audiobook and really, really enjoyed it. Enjoyed it a lot more than just Christmas at the Beach Cafe. Christmas Gifts is definitely the better one, but you kind of have to read the novellas in order. So there's 3 novellas: Christmas at the Beach Cafe, Christmas Gifts at the Beach Cafe, and then Baby at the Beach Cafe. You have to kind of read them in order to get the full picture of the story. So I've really enjoyed kind of expanding in the Beach Cafe world and reading more about the characters and the storyline and kind of see where the characters ended up. So I'm glad I took time out to read those novellas, and they were a great help in kind of getting me out of my reading slump. And then the next book I read, actually the first physical book I actually read this month, and that was The Diary of the Christmas Elf by Ben Miller, which I read with my boyfriend Sunday afternoon after we finished decorating the Christmas tree and listening to Christmas music. We sat down, I read aloud this book, and Mark listened along. Such a cool and like surreal experience, just kind of reading a book to him, because he reads the here and there, but he's not an avid reader like me. So being able to like get his attention by reading aloud a book, because he always says that I stumble over my words quite a bit and whatever, because I'm so used to reading quickly in my head, that reading aloud is a very different experience for me. But we had such a fun time reading this together. So it's a very fun, festive-y read, great for younger readers, but also, like I said, great for us more adult readers who just want a bit of festive spirit in our lives. This very much reminds me of how Tom Fletcher writes Christmas books. So if you enjoyed a Christmasaurus series, I think you'll really enjoy The Diary of the Christmas Elf as well. And that are all the books I've officially read. So I read 4 books this month, although 2 of them were novellas, and this one was like a really short 180-page Christmas book for children. I'm still really happy with the fact that I read 4 books this month. However, the book I'm currently in the middle of, which I know you guys might be like, oh, you're in the middle of the book on the last day of the month, and yes, I am. And it'll be the first time this year that I will be carrying a book over, because I've just decided I just want a less structured reading experience all round. Less time having to rate books and analyse them when that's taking out the fun of reading. Less structure to my TBRs. I've really enjoyed mood reading and just picking up what I fancy. And less structure in the fact that I have to finish books by the end of the month. It's a weird thing, it's a weird mentality thing that I got myself into when I started BookTube and started really getting into BookTube, because I wanted to wrap up month by month and I didn't want any books carrying over, because then do they fit in the month before or the month after? So I just kind of got into this mentality that I had to finish books by the end of the month. But it kind of makes you force read books quickly when you don't have to. For example, like, you know, I'm in the middle of The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary, and it's a 400-page book which I only really started 2 days ago. And coming out of my slump, reading a 400-page book in like 3 days just wasn't going to be very like easily done, especially with I'm a Celebrity in the evenings and taking out some of my reading time. And I didn't want to like force myself to read 200 pages when there's no need to. Like, there's no rule that I have to finish books by the end of the month. So I'm going to be carrying this book over to December, because technically it's also on my December TBR. So, you know, it's fine. And also I want to try and start getting into that routine where if I finish books by the end of the month, perfect. But if not, like this, I have 300 pages left to read of it. I don't need to sit down on the last day of the month and binge the remainder of the 300 pages in one sitting. Like, it will make me not enjoy the story. It will make me feel really stressed. Like, my boyfriend even said to me yesterday, you put unrealistic pressure on yourself that you don't need to put on. And I'm like, this is so true. And to have a less stressful 2022 is something that I definitely need to work towards, and not peer pressure myself into finishing books by the end of the month. So I'm carrying The Road Trip over. Saying all that, I'm really, really enjoying this book. I love the dynamic between the 5 people in the car. If you didn't know, it's about 5 characters who all stuck in the same car unintentionally because a car breaks down and they all have to travel into the same car to go up to a wedding in Scotland. And 2 of those characters have history. They used to go out and then now they're broken up, and the breakup was kind of messy. So it's a lot of dynamic in one car, in a mini as well, to not help things. And lots of things happen along the way. And I'm 130-ish pages in. Yeah, 129 pages in, and really, really enjoying it. I love the fact that you get the now timeline as well as the past timeline, so you can kind of see where the romance started with the 2 main characters, as well as where they're at currently driving up to Scotland for a wedding. And I'm just really, really enjoying it, and I'm just enjoying taking my time reading this book and not feeling like I have to rush read it to get it done by the end of the month. So I will continue reading this today, and tomorrow, because it is December, I'll be starting my weekly reading vlogs again, which I'm so, so excited, because they're going to be so festive. I have plans every single weekend up to Christmas, doing Christmassy things. And obviously I'll be reading all the Christmas books. I'll be finishing off The Road Trip, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my weekly reading vlogs, because they will be coming back and I'm so, so excited. So if you want to see my full thoughts of The Road Trip, you'll have to check out next week's reading vlog, so I'll be finishing it off this week. And I just want to quickly run through all the books I acquired this month. The first one were 2 ebooks I brought. One was Baby It's Cold Outside, which I have read, tick. The next one was Winter of Second Chances by Jenny Bayliss, which is Jenny Bayliss's new Christmassy book. She also wrote 12 Dates of Christmas. I have yet to read that yet, but it was only 99p, so nothing to lose there. And then I got my pre-order through of Walking on Sunshine by Giovanna Fletcher, which I have read. And then Mark got me The Diary of the Christmas Elf by Ben Miller, which we have read. And then I did a Come Book Shopping With Me video this month as well. So in that video, I brought Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox, and Wild Beauty by Anna Marie McLemore. I haven't read any of those books yet, but these 3 are on my December TBR, so hopefully I can get these read in December. And with all that being said, I have officially wrapped up my month of November. I'm so happy I'm finally coming out of my reading slump so I can smash my December TBR and finish off the year on a high. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up. Subscribe down below to see future content from me. I do anything from monthly vlog style wrap-ups, fun, unique bookish videos that you might not have thought of yourself, and anything else in between that your bookish heart could desire. I probably have it on this channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more future uploads. And without further ado, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.